Guys, welcome back to Stargate TWIG, only on ThisWeekInGeek.net. I am your gate master, Mike the Birdman, but I'm not alone as I travel to a mysterious planet where we are confronting Charmunda's forces once and for all. I'm joined from the great state of New Jersey with...
It's Ken playing Saul, the very concerned commander.
And of course, from the great prairies of Saskatchewan...
JT from Saskatoon playing Lieutenant Carter Hall, who right now is doing a great impression of a crash test dummy.
And finally, literally not too far down the road from me, just a little bit of a drive in the great city of Kitchener,
Alex playing Dr. Bob.
Okay, so the last time we left our adventures, JT, or Lieutenant Carter Hall, had just been struck by a death glider attack and had been blown by the concussive force away, and had just sent one desperate radio transmission to the armored Striker combat vehicle as it had taken shelter near the gates and the cave where it had emerged from. So we are going to pick things up almost immediately. We're going to go right to the Striker. Selena has kind of motioned to all of your headsets, and you all hear Carter's last message over the radio. Who is going to respond first?
Saul's going to shout a bunch of expletives and immediately go to the armory and grab a gun and proceed to try and walk out of the vehicle.
Okay, so what gun you want to grab? You want to grab a P90, an assault rifle, a sentinel beam, an ADS
sentinel
rifle?
Beam.
Okay, go for it. All right. So as you exit the vehicle, the back of the Striker opens up. You can still hear death gliders buzzing around outside, and you hear more concussive blasts getting closer and closer. You estimate Carter's probably about a 2-minute run if you hustle, but you don't know his exact location. All you know is that he was hit.
I turn to the two that aren't driving.
Mm-hmm.
You guys coming, or am I just gonna go get our boy back myself?
Selena points down at her legs and goes, "I can't run, boss, but
I know."
And Gunnery Sergeant Hall goes, "Look, man, I just shoot things." He looks back. He goes, "Why don't you take the big fucking lizard with you?"
I was going to say, I guess we're all together. From our last time, I was...
Oh, right. You were running outside, weren't you?
Yes, and I was trying to hide. Remember? I had my blanket. Or was that... No, that was before. That was right. We regrouped.
Right. We regrouped. You're in the...
And
I'm in
the back. Okay, then Dr. Bob is grabbing his medical supplies.
Okay.
So he was already suiting up as all this was going on.
All right, fair enough. All right, so you grab your gear. You're following behind Saul. You come out to the mouth of the cave. You can see 4 death gliders in the air, and they are just doing basically bombing runs in and around the area. Do either of you wish to try and hide, or are you just going to make it a beeline for Carter?
Beeline for me.
Yeah, I'm just covering him.
Okay, then. So each of you roll me a dexterity. Actually, I think, Ken, is it for strength? Is it dexterity or strength?
For
athletics.
Running?
Yeah,
Athletics.
So yeah, it'd be strength. Okay, go ahead. Roll strength, guys.
It's a strength.
Looking for... Okay. And
wait. You said, what are we rolling? Strength?
Yes.
Athletics. Athletics.
Which is under strength.
Okay, then 9.
Okay. And Saul?
18.
Okay, so Saul, you managed to break away from Dr. Bob. He's just not able to keep up for whatever reason.
I'm a slow giant lizard carrying medical supplies.
So as you approach the area where you assume Carter was shot, you see a big impact crater in the ground. You see parts of shredded You see parts of a shredded uniform. You see tons of blood. And you can hear kind of a quiet moan coming from a patch of the coral and rock that is kind of fossilized nearby. Right. What are you going to do?
I'm just literally gonna follow the moan here.
Okay, so you follow the moan. You see Carter's his flak vest has been completely destroyed. He's covered in what looks like some kind of an energy / plasma burn. He looks bad. He looks very, very bad.
What are the odds I can move him without hurting him?
You don't know. You don't. From your combat training and the limited medical stuff you would have received as a soldier, if you got him on a gurney or something, you might be able to move him. If you pull his arms, maybe, but you don't know if he has any internal injuries, what those type of death glider weapons do to a soft target like a person. It's not something that comes up very often.
So I'm assuming the gliders are continuing to bomb the general area.
Yes. I'm going to roll for them. Yeah. I'm only going to roll once and see if they spot you, but they are rolling with advantage because they know you're in the area. First roll, 16. Second roll, 7. They know you're there. They will arrive in, I'm going to be nice, and roll this on a D6. You have 6 rounds until they come back into range for another strafing run.
All right. I am going to ready my rifle here.
Okay. And then you have one more action.
And I'm going to attempt to fire at them.
All right. Roll me a D20. You're rolling dexterity because you're firing a firearm.
Yep.
This is considered a long gun.
That is a 17.
That is, let me see. I'm going to roll for these guys, see if they can actually. No, wait, you hit, so don't even worry about it. So roll the damage on the sentinel gun.
Yeah, which is 3d6.
Yep, I think so. You should have the stats there.
Yeah, I.
You should lie and say it's 3d20.
No, I know that.
That's if you overcharge it.
You hit for 60 damage and they cease to exist in this plane of existence.
I did 10.
Okay, and cool. I'm just checking how much damage that does. Just give me a second here when it loads up. Okay, so the Death Glider takes 10 points of damage. You rolled a 17?
Yes.
It does not hit, actually. I just had to verify some stuff. Your shot hits the armor on it, and it basically scores the surface. It burns into it, but doesn't do any real damage at all.
All right. Fair.
All right, so before we go any further, Carter, I need you to roll me your first death save. Ooh. Target number 10.
Come on, baby. That's a 6.
You have failed 1 death save. You can fail 2 more. If you get a critical 1, you are dead.
You've betrayed me, D20. You're going in jail.
Bob.
Okay, so Dr. Bob finally is able to find your position, mostly because he noticed you firing this big red laser beam into the sky. And you can see Carter. He looks bad. Like you have seen people come out of trauma surgery who looked better.
Okay, so it sounds like I have 2 choices. 1, I can try to save him. Or 2, I can put him out of his misery. No.
You have no idea how big my eyes just got.
Dr. Bob turns to Carter and says, "You're an organ donor, right?" As Dr. Bob changes the position of where he's aiming his blaster. Your choice.
Were you about to Clarence Boddicker me, you bastard?
Guts or nuts?
Guts or nuts? Dealer's choice. I'm not going to do that. All right. I'm pulling out. Oh, I'm trying to think. So if he's in a death saving, I don't think, does healing work when they're in death save? Okay.
Yeah, it would stabilize him.
Yeah, basically, as long as you can get him up to one HP, it works. Now, he's very badly hurt.
Okay.
This will require a 20, but that doesn't mean, like, if you rolled a 17 plus your first aid or whatever, it would still count. So it does not have to be a nat 20.
Okay, so I'm gonna, let me see here, because I got a +4 for medicine. Let me see. All right, let's do this. Let's roll.
And I am going to yep.
That's a 17.
17. Okay, so I need to look up and see what healing does again, just because we obviously want to get this right, because this is a tense moment. So, unfortunately, you don't make him stable. So you can still work on him again. He doesn't regain any hit points, but he doesn't fail anything.
Will you let him have an extra death saving throw?
He gets 2 more tries, or no, he can make as many tries as he needs to until he fails 3 times.
I'm gonna use something here.
Okay.
I'm gonna use one of my feats, Natural Leader, which will help. I'm going to basically yell at Carter's unconscious body, you better live, damn it. And he gets an advantage on his next roll.
Okay, I will rule that as fair.
I will also mention one thing here. Don't worry so much, Carter. This is just a little bit metagaming. If you die, one of the few good traits and features that I picked when I made my character was I have crash training, which is I can use a med kit to revive a dead character. So it says here's what it says, just so we know in the future, because I think it's something we all probably don't know. Crash training, it says it costs 5 MP. Use a med kit to revive a character who has been dead for a number of rounds up to your proficiency bonus with a successful DC 25 medicine check.
Now, we haven't been playing with mission points, but you have this on your sheet, right?
Yes, it is on my sheet that you accepted.
Perfect. Yes. So this means, for those of you listening at home, this is like a typical D&D feat. So this is already built into his character. The 5 MP is basically how much it would cost to buy in mission points if you were buying this feat later on.
But specifically because it's a specific kit. So we, I believe, agreed initially on I would be able to have one for the whole mission.
Yes.
That I could use.
Yes.
So it's not like I can use it infinitely.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'd have to, based on the roll, what does it say? Who has been dead for a number of rounds.
DC's 25.
Up to your proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
So
your proficiency bonus on your first aid is what, 4?
Yes.
So you could use it 4 times if I'm reading this
right. So up to 4 rounds.
Up to 4 rounds.
Okay. So basically, if you were dead and it was going to take me 5 rounds to get to you, you'd be dead.
Okay.
But because I'm here, as long as I don't die in an attack, and even if you fail your saving throws, I'll be able to revive you once. But I can't do it till you're already dead. So, sorry, Carter, you got to be dead for me to save you.
Oh, well, thanks for clearing that up.
So, and in the meantime, I can still possibly very much die and not be able to use it at all. So there's hope, however minuscule it is.
All right. So the Death Gliders are not there yet. You still have another 5 rounds. So we go back to the top of the order, and that goes back to Saul. Saul, what are you going to do?
Fire in my laser.
All right. Fire your laser.
Trying this again. That is a 19 this time.
All right. You fire the sentinel beam. You hold it a little bit longer, kind of like a pulse laser. Hits one of the Death Gliders. It dips for a second, but it still keeps coming. It's not able to pierce the armor just yet. You wonder if it's losing intensity at range, because the Death Gliders are still fairly far away. but your weapon might be having more of an effect than it did last time. You've definitely caught the pilot's attention now, but they are not in range to fire yet. Okay, now we go back to Carter. So, as I understand this roll, you roll with advantage.
All right.
So, roll 2 d20, target number 10.
That's another 6.
Okay.
And what's the second one?
3.
2 failed rolls. Okay, so as Carter starts to lie on the ground, he starts coughing up blood, and you notice a silver liquid start to ooze out of his pores as well.
Oh. that sound is not me. That is Dr. Bob. Humans aren't supposed to have silver blood.
All right. So the death gliders are getting progressively closer. They will now be, I think, so this will be round 5. So they'll be at you in 4 rounds after Dr. Bob. All right, Dr. Bob, if you want to try again.
I'm going to roll again for first aid.
Yep, go for it.
And that is 7.
That is not enough. You basically try injecting drugs. You start putting pressure on his wounds. You start trying to seeing if you can cut off the blood flow from certain areas, so he's not trying to bleed out, but he's just going through gauze. He's going through all the bandages. It's not stopping. He is bleeding out. All right, so the Death Gliders are still about 4 rounds out as of right now.
Swing
Saul,
low, sweet chariot.
It's just open sky, correct?
It's
There's
just open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
The
just
only
wanted
thing.
to clarify.
Yep.
I'm going to try and fire here.
Okay, go for it.
That is a nat 20.
That is a hit and double damage at that. Okay, so you are going to be able to hit one of the Death Gliders successfully.
And that is 15 damage.
Okay, so you hit this thing pretty much dead on. You strike the cockpit, splitting the glass. It doesn't kill the pilot, but it cuts right through the cockpit canopy, and the pilot just looks very surprised as the beam passes right by basically his ear, and you just see him just start to gun the engine faster and faster, and they will approach you in 3 rounds. So we go back, and now JT, make your next roll.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm going to use my favorite die because Harley hasn't betrayed me yet. That's a natural fucking 20.
Okay, you are automatically healed to 1 hit point. So what happens is, as you start coughing up the silver liquid, it starts to absorb all the blood, and your blood starts to be a mix of red and silver. And your wounds, while not completely knitting, they stop bleeding. And underneath where you do see exposed, where you see shredded flesh and basically wounds from the plasma burns, you see almost a faint green glow underneath your skin for just a second that appears kind of like a spider web.
I don't know if Carter would be awake or cognizant enough to notice that. I just imagine he wakes up for a second and like Sam Jackson along good night, "You can't kill me, motherfuckers," and he passes out again.
Just as you start to have the realization you're not dying, you get this incredible feeling, this incredible sense of dread in the back of your mind. The only way I could describe it is if someone's walking over your grave and they're standing over it. You felt this before when that person grabbed you on the Mukwa moon.
Oh.
And now we go to Dr. Bob. You see Hall's wounds stop bleeding almost instantly, and you just see the silver liquid, like I said, mix with his blood. His wounds knit and heal, not entirely, but so much so that he's not going to fall apart.
I stare at him like that famous Sam Jackson meme stare. Just a
The
what?
Black Snake moan.
Yeah. Just what? And I'm looking like, and I look down at Dr. Bob's looking down at his med kit, and he's looking up, and he's looking down. Dr. Bob stands up and takes a step back and looks down.
Say it, Raleigh.
And just is processing. Say
the thing, Alex.
Well, he pulls out a gun and goes, "Who are you?" Legitimately, is trying to analyze what is going on, because that's not normal for biological species. Don't have silver blood.
Yeah, but I mean, Carter's only at like 1 hit point, so he's probably like,
Yeah. You are conscious, but you're not very coherent.
Yeah, okay, you know what? I was going to use first aid, but I'm not going to now. You're alive enough.
Carter's just trying this like big angry lizard man point thing at me.
Saul just yells, "Bob, if he's stable, start shooting."
That is exactly. I think you're alive. We'll deal with that later. So I turn around and decide to try to help shoot, because I've got one of those
Sentinel beams. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, we did. We all left with them, right? So
yeah.
So I'm going to fire my Sentinel beam and try to aim for the hole that's already there in the one.
Are you doing this as a called shot? You are. I think you'd be rolling at disadvantage or a +2 to hit. I can't remember the rule off the top of my head. You can pick one.
Those are the sounds I'm
Let's do
making
+2
notes.
to hit. I'd
Okay.
rather roll that than disadvantage.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, so let's give this a try. And okay, wait a minute. So, and would this be a specific skill that I could apply to this?
Just dexterity and I guess long arms.
Long arms? I don't have long arms. So that's 18.
Okay, so you fire off the Sentinel beam once again. You hit the Death Glider, but it doesn't do any real damage. It bounces off its shields for a second. It hit, but it just didn't do much.
No.
So the Death Glider continues to get closer and closer. It's just preparing the fire. You can see its 2 plasma cannons on either side of the cockpit start to warm up, going through its ignition sequence. And then the Death Gliders immediately veer away. And they start heading back towards the airfield at the temple.
I'm going to roll perception to see if something... like someone's coming towards us or something, like just see if I have any presence. That is a 5, so fuck that.
Considering the valley, that the sound in this place echoes really funny because of the energy barrier.
Field, yeah.
You're not really hearing much. You're just still hearing the echo of the fire and the echo of the engine. So you don't notice anything that you hear. You don't see anything. So yeah, the Death Gliders are making a beeline right back towards the airfield, and they are not wasting time. So after about a minute and a half, the Death Gliders are out of sight, and you can no longer hear the engines.
I think it's about time that we maybe abandon ship and start setting charges to blow up the gate after we leave through it and take down the whole protective force field.
Yep.
And let everything get crushed under its... I don't think we're going to be able to infiltrate.
I agree, Bob. Fuck whatever the agent's mission is. This isn't worth it.
It's better to probably collapse the entire infrastructure and let all these death gliders and everything get crushed under the weight of like the ocean than it is to try to infiltrate and blow things up when we're down a man, basically.
Not to mention the fact that most likely they would do, whoever this agent guy is going to send anyway is going to do the exact same thing.
Also, I point down at Carter and go, "What's up with that? Your people, like, I know you're not a human, but that's not normal, right? With the silver blood."
No, but given what happened on that
Moon?
On that bear planet, who the heck knows what's going on with Carter?
When Carter sees Bob point at him, like he points a finger straight down. That ain't normal. Carter wakes up. Big angry lizard man passes out again.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are going to hoof it back to the gate?
I'm kind of afraid to carry him with his leaking silver blood. So we've got remember how I put out the picnic blanket?
There is not enough to make a carry thing for him.
Oh no.
Enough to make a bandage.
I know. I'm going to wrap it around his waist so that he doesn't get hurt too badly when I take the rope from my regular kit, tie it around his arms, and drag him back to the... I'm not holding him on me. So I'm literally dragging him on like a carpet, like a crazy carpet, at the back of a car in winter.
Okay, fine. I will allow this.
That's how I'm dragging him back.
And Carter, you're completely fine with this?
Yeah, well, he's slowly coming back to life.
He's got 1 HP. What's he going to complain about if he dies?
Well, yeah, he's just like bump out. No, man, they really ought to repeat. Ow! Ow!
I was nice. I wrapped your midsection with the picnic blanket.
All right, so Saul, you're going to lead your team back to the gate?
Yep.
Okay, so you lead your team back to the gate. You see Gunnery Sergeant Hall standing outside of the striker. He's got the other kind of sentinel beam. He sees you bringing back the other Hall, and he's like, "Oh my God, what the fuck happened to you?"
He went and got all goopy.
He's like, "You know what? We don't got time. Get in." So all of you pile back into the striker. The door repressurizes and seals. Selena spins around in her chair. Hall goes back onto the Crow's system. It's like, "All right, Commander, so what are we doing here?" He looks in really rough shape, sir.
We're blowing everything sky high and getting the frick out of here.
Big bada boom!
All right. How do you propose to do that, sir? Well, we've got that big old gun on top here. And I think the best job is to go out there, pop the... First, we're going to pop the top on that force field. But before we do that, we're going to set charges at the gate. And then as soon as we pop that, we're going to hightail it back to the gate. And literally, as soon as we pass the gate, blow it to smithereens.
She looks over at Hall, Gunnery Sergeant Hall, and she's like, "Do you think it's even going to scratch it?" He kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, "Fuck, man, I don't know. Maybe. Sure, I guess. Why not?" So Selena goes, "So you want me to drive outside and we'll take a shot at the shield?"
I mean, first we'll prep the gate to blow. Then
okay.
Then we'll take care of it.
Okay, so So to do this, I'm just going to make this a general intelligence roll for you and Dr. Bob to go set the charges.
Okay.
And what exactly do you guys want to do?
For the charges, it's surprisingly easy to blow up a gate, as we've seen in many episodes. So the gate won't be a problem because, like, the SG teams have done that before. What we'll do is because the gate is open. I forget the exact amount of time that a gate can stay open. Wasn't it like 2 minutes or something?
Something like that.
That was
Three.
like 40 minutes or something.
I know that they kept, because there's that episode where they keep redialing it, but we'll set it so, because you don't want to do it remote. Just to be safe, we'll set it for 1 minute. That the countdown starts as soon as a gate is established.
Yeah, it's
So that we
38
can all
minutes according to the wiki.
Okay, so we'll do that. As far as the dome, there's gonna have to, like, it's got to be emitted from multiple sections, right? Like, it's not going to be
one source, correct?
And because it's not like it can be at the center of the building and then it's broadcasting some magical wireless force field. It's got to be,
but
there's got to be a emitter.
We pop a hole in it.
We only have to blow one emitter.
Yeah, we blow one emitter. It's going to pop a giant ass hole.
Even a tiny asshole.
Exactly.
Is enough to increase the pressure and crush everything else, right?
Right.
So we just need to find the closest one, and if not firing the weapons, setting them all to fucking blow up at once, to set all the weapons to explode with all of our munitions, basically one giant, like, random improvised device bomb.
Mm.
And at the very least, if that doesn't work, we'll still be blowing up the gate, which is their main means of travel outside.
Right.
Even if they're traveling through space and all this, it's still going to be more difficult if the gate's gone.
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't know exactly where this location is. Where's the next nearest Stargate?
Even if it could be a moving comet for all we care. Like, it doesn't matter because it's still, the gate was the easiest way in and out, right? So, how are they going to? The question would be, how would they leave this planet, even with the gate gone, if it's underwater? Ships can't fly through the pressure, and because even if they tried to get out off of the base, they'd have to go through a force field that immediately would crush their ships. We're just trying to kill them quicker.
Yep.
We'd basically be doing them to death anyway by leaving and blowing up the gate. But this is cherry on top. Like, you shot our peoples, we now crush you under the weight of the world.
All right. So how do you propose to find these emitters in the city?
I would imagine they'd be right on the border, right? Like, they would be emitting from the edge, like the emitters would, unless something is crazy different from how I've seen science fiction work before, there'd be emitters spaced around the perimeter in, like, a circle, right?
Yes.
So we just have to find depending on where the gate is, we just have to find the closest way to get to the edge of the shield.
Well, if you drive outside in the Striker, you might be able to gather some more intel. You do have several options, but obviously I can't tell you as your gate master. But looking at the topography, the temple was probably a good couple of kilometers away from when you saw it up on that ridge. You don't see any obvious points from where you were driving out, as you are mostly looking down into the city.
Yeah.
But you would guess easily a couple of kilometers away towards the edge of the perimeter.
But can we see in the horizon where the shield ends?
You can see, you can see different points. There's like some ridges, there's what would be mountains ish that are underwater, and you can just see the edge of the green glow. It's more intense in certain areas.
I
Okay,
mean,
so more intense in certain areas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would
would be
I'd
where the
posit the thought that
intensity.
where it's more intense would be where it's emitting from each of
Right.
those spots. So you're the leader there, Saul. Maybe flip a coin,
Yeah.
figure out which one we go to.
I mean, we're going to the one that makes the most logical sense. Where it's admitting where it seems to be the strongest.
Strongest and
Okay.
closest to us.
So you
Yeah.
guys are going to wire the gate to blow first.
We're gonna wire the gate so that we can trigger the start of it, like the countdown. Like, so for instance, like somebody will flip a switch, like somebody at the there can flip a switch to make it start the countdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like we're not going to start the countdown before we go. Obviously, if we're only going to set it for like a minute.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We'll prep it, but we're not fully setting it.
All right. So you guys are going to set out and do this.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so Selena pulls out the striker out of the cave. She does a radar sweep. She's not detecting any death gliders in the air. So you start going out over the train. It's a remarkably bumpy ride. Carter, you're floating in and out of consciousness, like you're with it, but you're not able to really focus.
Mm-hmm.
And you start hearing whispers in the back of your mind. You can't understand the language. It's very fast. It's almost like there's a liquid in the voice. It's almost like someone's speaking through water, but you can still hear it. So you start hearing these whispers in the back of your mind, and you've now regained 5 hit points.
All right. So he's awake and kind of groggy.
As you notice this, you start to notice that same green glow under Carter's skin again, because he is covered, because his uniform is still shredded, but you are starting to see more of his wounds knit, and you're starting to notice a greenish glow underneath his skin while this is happening. All of you see this except for Selena and Gunnery Sergeant Hall.
Well, I'm trying to think of what I have in the kit.
What does the
Right
book
now,
on horse
there's not
medicine
much-
tell you?
There's not much we can really say at the moment. All we can say is at least it's healing him, whatever it is.
Yeah. We don't have. I've got duct tape, but that's not going to stop him from going crazy and killing everybody. Speaking and
At
Dr.
this
Bob,
point,
Dr. Bob speaks that aloud, by the way, so
Oh,
that
of course.
even Carter can hear it.
And Carter just kind of groggily looks at you and just big, dopey Brendan Fraser smile and thumbs up.
I mean, it's hard to. Saul's like, I really shouldn't, and we probably shouldn't, but he's weak enough now that we could take him back to 0 hit points. And then force him over a few rounds to roll saving throws so that at least in that time period he can't go crazy and kill the NPCs.
right now,
but that's horrifying. So we'll
now
not
it's
do
a
that.
risk I'm willing to take.
You want to do that?
To not do
Oh,
that.
okay. So you don't want to do that. So we won't do that.
Why do you want to kill me so much, Alex? Come
We don't
on, man. I
want
thought we
to
were
kill you.
cool.
Well, we have the ability to revive you if we need to.
He just doesn't want Mike to jump on a way to absolutely slaughter us.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got to
That
kill
would
you
like
to
Mike
save
some kind
all
of kill
us.
crazy psycho.
We've got to kill your character to save everybody potentially. No, we're not going to do that.
Many.
Because that's just that just turns us all into like murder hobos, right?
Exactly.
So let's not do that.
It's concerning, but at this point, we've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. So I was going to say we don't even have anything to tie him down. So we just think Dr. Bob turns to Carter and says, you might be turning into one of those weird plant people. So if the urge to not think like yourself happens, know that that's bad, so don't kill anybody, and then starts walking away.
Carter just has this very, like, because he's heard, like, every other word, and he's just, what? Kill everybody? No.
All right. So after a about 15 or 20 minutes, your vehicle pulls up to what looks like a very big rock, and you can see there's something built into the rock. Kind of like this emitter is built inside of a miniature volcano would be the best way to describe. There's something inside this rock. The rock is protecting the machinery inside, and it's shaped like a cone. The building, there is an entrance in front of it. It's just a big open stone doorway, and you don't see any obvious signs of people inside or anything.
If I were to walk out of the vehicle, would I have a clear shot of it?
Yeah, you can see it, and it can see you.
All right. Just going to poke my head and sentinel beam out of the vehicle and just try and shoot it.
Okay, you take a shot. Pew! Nothing happens. You shoot into the darkness of where the emitter is. Nothing happens. You'll have to go inside.
Of course. I go to Selena. Selena, if anything happens, book it below the gate.
And keep an eye on Carter.
She kind of looks back at Hall, at Gunnery Sergeant Hall, and she kind of taps her sidearm, and she points over at Carter and goes, "Watch him," and you know what I mean. Gunnery Sergeant kind of looks a little confused, and he just kind of he looks at Dr. Bob, he looks at Saul, and he's like, "You guys sure about that? Keep an eye on him if I'm reading the room right?"
Yes.
Yes.
He's like, "All right," and
We've seen weirder stuff than probably you, son.
Talking bear.
he unclips his pistol, and you guys are now making your way out of the striker. So we're going to change speeds for just a moment. So JT, for just a moment, you can't see. Your eyes go, you literally cannot see anything. You can still hear what's happening around you, but you're not receiving any sort of visual data whatsoever.
Carter
And
just kind of
what do we see? What do they?
You see Carter's eyes turn silver.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts like, is he strapped down or is he just laying down?
You are right against you're basically held into the side of the combat seating, like you're kind of all like kind of strapped in.
Just like because one of those weird carnival rides, like
yeah,
like comes in kind of over the chest. So he just kind of started like not thrashing, but he's like, "Hey, what? I can't see," and he's like literally freaking out. But he's not like I can't see anything. What the hell? And visibly like hyperventilating, basically.
All right, so you see this happening to Carter. What are both of you going to do? You see Gunnery Sergeant Hall go, "That's not supposed to fucking happen now, is it?" Selena's like, "What in the hell?"
I'm going to.
Carter's just continuing to freak out.
Saul's gonna gonna just assume something, and he's gonna take his P90 out and just point it at Carter. No, no intent on actually shooting him, and going, "If you're listening, it's not gonna be pretty for you."
Pretty house, sir. I can't see a fucking thing.
Carter, you can't say that. Your vocal cords have been paralyzed. And you also can't hear anything either. Suddenly, Carter's demeanor changes entirely. His body sits up straight. He almost takes on a completely different air from the jokey person you've known for the better part of your careers together.
Mm-hmm.
And a male voice that isn't Carter's comes through his mouth, and he's like, "We have heard these words before. All variations have been accounted for, including this one. But please, go ahead and try. More data is always more useful."
Huh. Okay.
And then,
So-
Carter, you're fine.
Like my eyes come back and everything.
Your eyes come back, you can hear, and you can talk.
What
so-
happened?
So I slowly put away the clack blade that I had been holding behind my back.
Does Carter see that?
Yes.
Bob, were you about to perform surgery? And he makes the finger quotes with his hands.
If by surgery you mean removing head, yes.
Why were you going to do that? Informed consent?
Saul's gonna jump in. What I can only assume is we've been basically observed. Whether it's Charmunda or some other entity, I don't know. But they're using you as a conduit to spy on us.
Did I sound like a robot? Or some sort of omnipotent type of being?
Omnipotence is probably the best word to describe.
And
How-
Carter,
How
Carter's like,
attached are you to your eyes?
Carter just looks at
Saul
Bob.
just
and
looks
is like,
at Bob and just goes, "Really?"
that Carter says
we
that
can't
as
be
well.
observed if we can't be observed.
We have a twin moment where we both look at Bob. Really? How should I know? I knew when I got that goo in me back on the moon that I was going to turn into a Borg. I just hoped it would have taken a lot longer.
Huh. So, what is the plan for you guys as you're kind of observing Carter? The striker's door is open, and all you can hear is silence outside. You hear a low hum as you can hear the pulse of high energy electricity or high energy, energy being pumped into the shield.
Sir,
All right, Bob, Carter, as far as I know, most likely this is a trap. However, the fact of the matter is, damned if we do, damned if we don't. I think our best bet is to just gung-ho it.
Okay, let's do that. And now that Carter is able to walk, he's going in first.
Fair.
We'll watch his back, in quotes, does his own quote fingers.
is it just like your middle clock?
Yeah. We figure if we got to keep an eye on you anyway, have you go in first so that if anything, you can find the booby traps. You're like the guy in Last Action Hero that has to go into the temple, or not Last Action Hero, in
Raiders of
what
the
am I?
Lost Ark?
Raiders? No, the geez, why am I drawing a blank on it? The last Indiana Jones, the good one.
Oh, Last Crusade.
Yes,
Temple of Doom. Or
No,
no,
not
No,
Temple.
Last Crusade is
Last
what he's
Crusade.
talking about.
You're the guy that goes in first and has to like,
His head
Neil.
comes rolling back out.
yeah. You may as well go first.
All right, so all of you exit the striker except for Selena and Carter, or Gunnery Sergeant Hall, who keeps armed with the vehicle's turret, which keeps kind of aiming towards the sky. Selena's constantly checking radar. She says, "All right, everybody, stay in comms," and you start making your way towards the cave. So as you start making your way towards this entranceway, you start moving and going inside, and it's just big, empty. This place, you wonder if this place has even seen a person in thousands of years. However, if you all wish to roll a perception check, you may.
Rolling perception, obviously.
Okay.
That's 12.
That is an 18.
12 as well.
All right. So, Saul, you can follow the sound of the energy as it gets louder the further inside this big empty room you get down. Then you start to see it narrow down into kind of a hallway, which then starts to lead down into a spiral kind of like a spiral staircase or ramp that's been cut into the stone. Are you guys going to follow Saul?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you start following down Saul. Are you guys going to use any sort of lamps, or are you just going to, how are you guys going to see in the dark down there?
Well, we have those
I mean,
rave sticks.
I know, Alex, you have.
You've got low
Enhanced
light vision,
vision.
don't you?
Oh yeah, that's just
Yeah,
it's
I'm
species
the
trait.
same way.
Okay.
So Carter's the only one that can't see Jack.
You might have an
really
NVG, but
Yeah. So Carter, are you going to be wearing your night vision goggles or a flashlight?
yeah, I'll
Okay.
put my night vision on.
Okay. So you bring those down, and you start looking down, and as you start to get further and further down this like ramp staircase area, you start to hear the energy level start to get more and more intense. It almost hurts your ears the further you go down, and eventually you come out into this giant room. There's this entire wall of machinery that is unlike any design you've ever seen before. You see pulses of different colored energy forming through what looks to be like glass tubes, but that's not possible. And you look down towards the floor underneath the machinery, and it's completely transparent, and it's magma. So something is using the geothermal energy to convert it into something else to power these things.
Carter jumps back. Like, I imagine we come to the bottom of the stairs. There's like a little bit of stone before we see the transparent. And Carter jumps back on it. That's lava, isn't it?
Probably.
So as you are standing there, you hear a double tap on the floor. Just boom, boom.
Look down.
And you turn around and you see one lone tiger guard standing there, and his mask is up and like the brass kind of tiger looking thing. His eyes glow blood red, and he aims his Martox, or how do you pronounce that word again? The kind of staff weapon. He points that towards you, doesn't fire it, but he raises it in challenge.
Huh. Red eyes. That's different. Do we really want a shootout in the classroom of lava?
No, we're not going to have a shootout. Saul puts his weapon down and just
go get him,
pops
Carter.
pops his claws and goes, "We're not having a shootout. This is going to be a straight up brawl."
All right, and I pull my clock light out, but I pull the old, go get him, Ray. go get him. No, but I pull up my
Carter. Carter just looks at you with the purest expression of F and U that he has ever leveled at somebody.
Because you're still at like 5 or 6 HP.
Yeah.
No, I pull up my clack blade and give a nod to Saul.
All right, so we're gonna roll initiative right now. So everybody roll a d20. I've rolled a 14.
17.
12.
15.
Okay, so whoever got the highest, I think that was Alex. So Dr.
Yeah.
Bob, you go first.
All right, I'm putting I flip my my clack blade in my hand into the position, like just into the air, and catch it in like a downward striking, like dagger type position, and I'm
Mhm.
going to make a run and just try to like jab the knife down into like somewhere jabbing between the like shoulder blade and where the helmet for the tiger guard attaches.
Basically,
so-
aim for squishy bits.
All right.
I'm aiming for where the joints connect.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm gonna crack them open like a shellfish.
all right, roll me your attack roll. This would be a strength-based roll if you're engaging in melee combat.
All right, 19. Holy!
That is-
Wait. 19. Let me see what my
what is your bonus to hit?
plus
It would be
one.
right.
So
It
plus
would be
one.
right there. Yeah, so +1.
Yeah, so 20.
Okay, that is definitely a hit.
Nice.
All right, roll damage for me, please.
And that is my clack blade. So that's 1d8. Let's roll that d8. 6.
All right, you have managed to hit the tiger guard. You didn't pierce through his helmet, but you've definitely hurt him. But he looks more than capable and ready to fight still. All right, so who is next roll?
That would be probably me because I had 15.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna just run at him and just generally try and mutilate him.
All right, go for it.
That is a, let's see, that's a hit. That is a 24.
That is definitely a hit. Okay, roll damage, please.
Obviously, this doesn't do a lot of damage because it's +6 to hit still. That is a 5.
Okay.
5 to mutilate.
All right, so you like take a broad kind of slash at him. He dodges out of the way of a couple of them, but one catches him across the arm. It does a pretty good slash of damage, but it's mostly superficial. You notice he also bleeds red and silver. He doesn't seem deterred from fighting you. So Carter, you rolled a 12, right?
Yes, I did.
All right, so it is my go with a 14. So he is going to attack Dr. Bob first. And his first attack, so I'm rolling against your AC, Alex.
Okay,
Does a 9 hit? I'm guessing
no.
Okay, so he misses.
Big boy, strong armor.
All right, so he misses with that attack. He's going to try a second attack at disadvantage.
Okay.
Against Saul. First is a natural 1, so he ain't get, and then he rolled a nat 20. Can't believe that. You cannot make this shit up.
Okay. Wait. So he's got a staff weapon on him, right?
Yes.
Does he swing and have it bounce against the wall and smack him in the head?
What he does, he swings wide, and as he swings wide towards Saul, he tries to fire the weapon at the same time. It hits part of the cave wall and does do damage to the staircase leading up.
Oh, I was hoping it was going to reflect and hit him in the head. He shoots himself.
Is there any cracks in the floor?
No, there are no cracks in the floor, fortunately.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I guess if it was 2 1s, he would have hurt himself, right?
Yes. So I'm going to say because he pulled off both ends of the spectrum, something bad did still happen. He completely missed the target, but now it's harder to get out of this room.
Okay.
Okay, so Carter, go for it.
Hey, Carter draws his combat knife and runs and tries to slide around behind him and then attack like the back of his legs, like the Achilles tendon, just the back of the calf.
Hamstrings.
Hamstrings.
Bastard.
All right, are you doing this as a called shot or a regular attack?
Ooh, I'm gonna do it as a regular attack because I'm not liking my chances today.
All right, go for it.
Okay, that's an 18, and I don't think you add anything with a knife, right? I didn't put
just.
I
could be athletics.
I don't think a knife has.
Well, he's not.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's not lunging. Maybe like
if you've got a proficiency with it, maybe. Like if you have like anything in your skills, so probably not.
No.
So all right. So you are going to roll damage plus your strength modifier.
Okay, and what's damage for a blade? I forgot to put that on my attack.
If I had to guess, 1d4. If I had to guess.
The clack blade
would definitely be a D4.
Was a lot more because a clack blade is like the size of a machete.
Yeah, it's a big sword.
Yeah, but for me, it's the size of like
a knife,
like your knife.
Yeah.
Okay. D4. 4.
Okay, so you hit him for 4 damage. Again, you get him as you just catch him with the tip of your blade. It's more surface damage than it is anything.
It's not debilitating.
And the guard's eyes flash red again, and he begins to get into combat stance again, as if he's egging you on. All right, so back to the top of the order, and that is Saul. Actually, no, that's Dr. Bob.
No, that's Bob first.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, go for it.
All right. Because now that I'm like right on him, obviously, if I just,
you can punch him, basically. You are so close.
Yeah. I'm going to blast him with my shotgun.
Okay, go for it. Roll it.
All right. I'm going to roll that. Let's roll this bitch. And what do we have here? 18.
That is a hit.
Okay. Ooh. Then that's a 1d10. 9.
Okay. So you shoot him with the Mossberg. All the pellets hit center of mass. Again, he starts bleeding the silverish red blood. He's affected, but he's not going down. He spins his kind of staff around as if he's challenging you specifically next time. So I believe that goes to Saul next.
I'm going to try and grab him by the head and flip him over me.
Okay.
So first I'm going to try and grapple.
Okay, so that's a strength roll.
You're going to try suplex him over top of you?
Basically.
Down the stairs? Ow.
Basically.
That almost hurts more than the shotgun.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
that is a 19.
Okay, he is rolling his. So, what did you get?
19.
19. You beat him. So you do exactly as you describe. He's a lot heavier than you expected, but he does land to the ground with a loud thud. All right,
and the floor has not been affected by me doing that.
No,
okay.
The floor seems to be...
make sure. I just want to make sure because I'm just trying to analyze my environment as well while doing this.
The floor does seem to be made of some artificial structure or some artificial material. It's as thin as glass, but seems to be remarkably tough.
What was that translucent aluminum from Star Trek?
Similar, but probably a lot more space agey, whatever. All right.
So it's titanium. See-through
Yes.
titanium.
All right.
See-through unobtainium.
So now that he's been struck, he's going to take a round to get to his feet, and he is powering up his staff weapon.
Why
And
won't you die?
He's going to take a shot at Dr. Bob.
Ah,
And I'm guessing a 10 does not hit. Actually, hold on. I got to make sure I did this right. Does a 16 hit you?
16 does hit.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So you, let me see. Do you want to take the average or do you want me to roll it? The average is 6d6. Or
Just
you can
roll-
take 20.
Or I can take 20?
Or you can take 20.
I'll just take the 20.
Okay, so you take 20 damage. The plasma blast emerges out of the edge of his staff weapon.
Ow.
And even normal staff weapons fire kind of a yellowish blast. This one fires a deep red crimson.
Of course it does.
And it
Ow.
burns. Like, it's not just energy. There's something inside of it, like a plasma or something. Like, it sticks to you and it burns.
You.
So you are suffering from also fire damage, and you are knocked back. And because I don't want to look up the rules for this, I'm just going to say your regeneration powers do not work for this encounter only. So
Okay,
once
so-
you're fine and
so-
clear from this, they'll work again.
So basically, for other people, they'd be taking damage every round, but my regenerative abilities are working overtime just to maintain.
Yes, basically, they won't work for this fight, but once you're out of it, you'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now it goes to Carter. What are you going to do?
Well, he's right in front of me.
Yep.
And he's facing Bob. So I forget how the system. Do we have some in the system for flanking bonuses?
I'll just say you get behind him and you get advantage on him.
Okay.
Just make it simple because I don't want to look up the rules right now.
Well, no. I'm just saying because he's going to try and blast, or he's blasted Bob. So Carter's going to come behind him, get his arm around his headpiece, and jab him a couple of times in his flank, like from the elbow pit down. There's that area
Find
of
the
the armor.
find the weak squishy bits is what you're saying.
Yeah, that
if
he's
you can
following
roll
Bob's-
well, I'll
Yeah.
give you a bonus to damage. You'll go from 1d4 to 1d6. Also,
Okay. Come on, baby. That's 14.
that unfortunately, as you go to jab him in the headpiece, your blade
No, in his armpit.
in
like
his
in that-
armpit,
Yeah.
there's just enough of the crest. It deflects off the armor, and you literally missed by less than an inch. But now he sees you.
Or at
And
least
he
feels me.
He does not like you right now. But it is not his go. We go back to the top of the order. It is Saul's go.
Alex is
No, it's
Oh, sorry, Dr. Bob. Sorry, I don't know why I keep thinking Ken goes first. All right.
Clearly you
I'm
don't
gonna
want
I'm gonna
Alex to be
blast him with
happy.
my second shot and my shotgun because I get 2 per clip.
Okay, go for it.
All right, let's roll this because I'm pissed. It took 20 damage, but it was better than potentially taking a lot more. So let's roll this. 17.
That is a hit. How many hit points do you have left, Alex?
7.
Okay.
And that is D10. That's another 9.
Okay. You shoot him. Again, you notice the pellets all hit dead center. They do knock him back a foot. He sort of staggers, but just more of the liquid silver blood keeps coming out of him, and it just keeps knitting the wounds back up as quickly as you can deal them. But he does seem a little more winded than he did just a couple of moments ago. So you are definitely hurting him.
Okay.
All right. So then we go to Saul.
Okay. Saul is going to proceed to essentially taunt him because he's got an inference here that whatever was talking to Carter through Carter earlier has some relation to him, to whatever we're facing. And he goes, seems like we're in a losing battle. Don't you think?
The guard's eyes just kind of flash at you again, and he points his staff weapon at you. The ends of it extend. Is that your action?
Saul pulls out the sentinel beam and just fires.
All right, go for it.
Let's. That is a unnatural 20.
All right, definitely hits.
So let's go ahead. That is 12 damage.
Okay, so you fire the sentinel beam. The beam actually cuts into the front of the tiger guard's helmet, and you can see it start to get scored. It's definitely left a mark, and the guard does seem a little bit more stunned now than he did. Now he's starting to take you a little bit more seriously. Now you've essentially pissed him off. So he's going to try attacking you, Saul. And does let me roll my app again. He is rolling a plasma blast at you, and that is a 21.
Of course that hits.
Okay, so you get the choice, 66 or 20 flat.
I'll take the 20 flat.
Okay, you take 20 plasma damage, and again, you take fire damage. So you are knocked back against the wall. Like, you are thrown back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the concussive force of this was a lot more than you've ever taken in your life. So yeah, you are knocked back and you are knocked prone. But you are not dead. How many hit points do you have left?
That would be 4.
Okay. So it is now JT's turn. So, all right, Carter, what are you going to do? He has this Jaffa Tiger Vanguard has just struck your friends with 2 plasma blasts, because now he was playing fair. Now he's not.
Hey, still kind of behind him, arm around his neck. I'm going to draw my pistol, point it into his side by his elbow, and empty the clip.
Okay, roll me your 2 attack.
All right. 2 attacks?
Yeah, no, 2 attack. Roll me your attack roll.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
2 attack. Just
yeah.
All right, come on, baby. That's a 19 total.
That is a hit.
And 1d8, and of course it would be buried in my noisy ass dice bag. Come to Papa. That's 4 points of damage.
All right, so you hit him. The shots definitely go into him. It hurts him. It hurts him quite a bit, actually. It looks like he might be getting near the end of his rope. He's still standing fairly strong, but multiple wounds are starting to show, and you're seeing more red blood as opposed to the silver liquid. So top of the round, going back to Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob's going to take a swing at him, try to stab him or slash him with his clack blade.
Okay, go for it.
And on, fingers crossed. Does a 16 hit?
Just barely. So you swing your clack blade. You're just within range to hit him. So you slash him right across the open area of his torso, below his kind of headpiece, and roll damage, please.
All right, let's roll that damage. 5 points.
Okay. You slash him, and the wounds are now bleeding consistent red. All right, so going to Commander Saul.
Saul's obviously still prone, but I can
get back up.
I can clearly see him and be able to shoot.
Yep.
Correct? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna fire one more sentinel beam at him.
All right, go for it.
That is a 15.
The shot just hits him, like it hits him dead center of the shoulder. Like it would have been a headshot, but
Yeah, I was
he got
aiming.
it.
All right, and that is 11.
All right. That shot knocks him flat. Like the shot knocks him right off of his feet, and he is thrown back right across the chamber as the concussive force of the sentinel beam almost pins him to the wall for a second. And you just see the same green glow that happened under Carter happen for him, but it doesn't seem to be keeping up with the damage output that you guys are doing to him. He staggers to his feet, and then it goes to him actually. So he's gonna try and attack, and he's gonna try and attack you, Saul.
Mm-hmm.
So he rolls a 17. Does that hit?
No.
Actually, no. Wait, I misjudged that. 17 plus 6. Help me out here.
Yeah, if it's plus 6 from that 17, yeah, of course it hits me.
Okay, yeah. So that hits. You have the choice of 66 or 20.
I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna end up.
Okay, so here's the question that I have to ask you. If you take that damage, does it put you over your maximum hit points? Does it instant death you?
No, it doesn't instant death me.
Okay, so
if 20 goes.
Okay, so he hits you. The rest of your hit points are gone. The
Right.
plasma, he hits you with another staff weapon blast, and that pins you against the wall, and you are knocked unconscious. You are now considered dying.
Yeah.
All right. So going to Carter. You just saw him leveled your friends.
Yeah. Carter's going to try and grapple a staff weapon away from him and use it on him.
Okay. You're going to roll strength.
All right. That is a 16.
That is a 24 for him.
Ah, dang it.
So you cannot wrestle it away from him. And again, he seems unnaturally strong. So since Dr. Bob goes next, Dr. Bob, what are you going to do?
I'm so mad that he's not dead.
Run him over.
It's just I've got the clack blade. I don't want to take the time to reload my gun. I mean, then again, screw it. I pull up my sentinel gun.
All right.
All right.
Roll your attack damage, please, or roll your attack, please.
17.
That hits.
Okay. And what is that? What's the damage?
3d6.
3d6. That's what I thought. Okay. Let's roll that. 15.
All right. So you shoot him with the sentinel beam. It pierces him right in the heart. The eyes flash red and then blue for a second. He falls to the floor dead.
All right. I've had enough of this shit. Why won't I got so pissed. I forgot I had that gun, by the way. I'm just like, why? I'm just like, I got like 7 HP left. I was like, I was looking at my shotgun. I don't want to reload it. And I'm like, what's this on my back? Oh shit. I forgot I got like the beam gun. But yes. So combat's over.
Yep. Combat's over.
Am I able, since we're no longer in combat, can I just go and use the med kit to revive Saul?
Yeah. Actually, Saul gets to roll.
1.
So,
I'll roll it. I'll
Yep.
Roll 1 first before I use it.
Yeah, might as well.
all right. DC 10.
Yep. That is a 19.
Okay, so you are restored back up to 1 hit point, and as you start to regain consciousness, Saul, you get a message over the radio. Guys, I don't know what the hell is going on down there, but we better get the hell out of here. Something
Bogies?
big, something big's coming in, and it's coming through the dome.
That's not supposed to be possible.
I'm picking up massive energy readings. I can't even understand half of these things.
Sounds like we struck the beehive, and now the queen bee's coming to basically get rid of us.
Mama's mad. So, what are you guys going to do?
We're gonna set some fucking bombs, or blow up, or try to blow this shit up because
Yep,
I mean,
we might as well.
I'm starting to finally heal. Carter's at still what 6 or 7. I think we're all pretty much at like
We're
2
low.
or 7.
We're all low.
Like we
You're
got
all
seven.
low.
I got 7 HP. Carter's got I think 6.
Saul's got
I
one.
just got
Saul's
up.
got 1. And I still got that med kit. I pulled it out to use it, didn't have to use it. I'm just like, okay, put it back.
All right. So as you emerge from the cave, you start to see something hovering over the city. You see what looks to be, it's not quite a pyramid ship, but it's something else entirely. It's like shaped like a traditional UFO, like the big kind of saucer thing, but it's made out of this weird vibrating greenish silver metal, and it's just hovering over the temple.
Ugh.
And you're not sure where it came from. As this thing starts to hover over the temple, you start to feel the ground shake all around you. The energy field does seem fairly stable right now, but things don't seem right. Carter, while you are observing this, you hear a voice in the back of your head, and just for half a second, you understand 2 words: connection established.
Commander, I'm not entirely certain I can be trusted. I understood what that thing was saying this time.
I just look at Carter and go, Tramunda, I'm assuming you're there.
Carter's eyes go silver again, and she, whatever it is, turns and looks at you. And she goes, I am here, but I am not alone now. We have the prophet.
Of course you do.
I offer your world one chance for amnesty. The promise to be destroyed last. Give us the Gatherer, and the Tauri will be spared for 1 solar year. You have 5 minutes.
You need more than... The Gatherer is not on my person, Tramunda.
Carter's eyes go back to normal.
Does Carter feel like weird after that happens?
Yeah, it's like it's like you were blackout drunk with none of the fun.
Oh, just...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what happened? I don't feel good.
Seems like your Tramunda is using you as a basic conduit to speak with us. They want the Gatherer.
Sure.
They want the Gatherer. And frankly, I'm willing to give them it.
All right, so what are you guys going to do?
Hey, did we set the explosives down there already, or did we just run up to see what the noise was?
Nobody said anything.
No, we set bombs.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I know you set bombs at the gate. I wasn't sure whether you set the ones
No,
for
we
here.
set bombs at that.
All right, then fair enough. All right, so what are you going to do? All right.
Well, so I was going to say, I don't know if we actually. Well, yeah, we were planning to set some explosives here as well, because we didn't get really far into the temple.
We're just booming.
Let's just say,
whatever.
Okay. How about instead of finding the source of the actual shield, we just set the bombs on top of, in hopes that it would blow on top of the see-through ground above the magma.
So I was going to say, like,
basically
overclock
just drop the machinery into the magma.
Yeah. If we can't blow up the actual machine, maybe we can blow up the structure.
So that's what you guys are going to do?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And then we're hightailing it back to the gate.
Okay, so you guys get back in the Striker. You start the engine. Selena guns it, and after a few moments, you trigger the explosives. The energy shield starts to buckle, starts to change colors, starts to rapidly cycle, and water starts to leak in from behind you. Selena is doing her best to keep up in front of it. So how does gate dial? How quickly can you dial home?
Well, they weren't they already at the gate?
No.
No, they came to get us. I was going to say, did any of the NPCs stay there?
No, they actually drove you here.
Yeah,
all of them.
We were driven here, so we're playing a race to not get washed away.
Plus, somebody's got to dial.
I think it takes about 90 seconds for it to dial.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys arrive to the cave, you notice a small, literal army of tiger guards.
Of course.
You see
Hall fire that beam.
All right. So Hall goes, yeah! And he loads up the shard cannon. He fires right into the crowd of them and literally liquefies them. As that happens, the gate activates. You see Charmunda along with the other person she was standing with, and they're holding a object that looks similar to the Gatherer, except this one is bathed in green. And it's basically like a big green box this time as opposed to an orb, but it looks like they're part of a greater whole, like these three cores fit together somehow. So you see her, she activates the gate. She looks behind her. She gives the Gatherer to her companion, and she looks at the Striker, and all of you hear a voice in your mind. I see you have rejected my offer. I will see you in 5 days. And she goes through the gate. Meanwhile, you hear running and screaming outside as other Jaffa and slaves are running towards the gate trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And who's going to hit the dial home program?
I'll run for it.
All right, so you run towards the gate. You start hitting the dial home device. Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. The gate starts to spin. Eventually, the gate powers up, and the wormhole opens. And Selena basically guns it through the gate. Carter, I presume you just follow right behind the truck.
Well,
Carter flips the switch to start the detonation sequence.
Yep.
Yeah, he does that, and then he hauls ass and dives through the rear hatch of the Striker.
All right, so you dive through the rear hatch of the Striker. You get through the gate. Whoosh! You arrive at the other end of Phoenix Base. You see a couple of Jaffa guards and a couple of slaves also come through the gate behind you. But after about another 10 seconds, the gate closes, and you know your explosives have gone off. So there's about 10 Tiger Guards and about 30 slaves. And all Phoenix Base has all their guns pointed right at the gate. Everybody give me a perception check.
All right, let's roll this.
18.
9.
Unnatural 20.
Saul, you look up in the gate room overlooking the command room, and you notice General PK Lawyer being led out of the room by people in black body armor, and you see Agent Reed overlooking the gate. And
Hello, Reed.
He looks up at you, goes, "You'll be debriefed later. This base is now under NID control." And that's where we end off. So, what's going to happen to Stargate Twig? Well, you know what? I think we're going to have to stay tuned to find out what happens next season here. And I'm just going to spring this on these guys. This is the season finale of Stargate Twig. Although these guys have definitely encountered their fair share of what's going on, what's going wrong.
It's the traditional SG-1 season-ending cliffhanger.
Exactly. So thank you. What's going to happen next? Can they beat this government organization, which are basically giant assholes who, we'll kind of talk about that in our debrief here. So for Stargate Twig Tactical Weapons Integration Group, we have been
Ken playing Saul.
Alex playing Dr. Bob.
And JT playing Lieutenant Carter Hall.
And I've been your gate master for this season. Stay tuned for our about 15-20 minute debrief of this show. And I'll catch you guys again next time right here on This Week in Geek. And as always, keep those chevrons locked.